From the On Target Digital Marketing Podcasting Studios in sunny Orlando, Florida, it's the T Squared Tech Talk Podcast with Tom Jelnick and Tom Craig. It's a frickin' Friday afternoon, Tom. You know what that means.
That's right. It's another episode of the T Squared Tech Talk Podcast.
Or it's another excuse for you to drink 62 gallons of Mountain Dew.
You know, I stopped specifically, not pacifically, but specifically on the way here.
That one's a tongue twister, isn't it?
It can be, especially when you've had as much Mountain Dew as I have.
Well, you look good, my friend.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
look well-rested and jacked up.
Jacked up, I'll go with. Well-rested, I'm not buying into. Been one of those weeks, but it's a good week.
I hear that.
Everything's successful. Everybody's happy. We're happy.
You know, Tom, I tried to take a day off yesterday, and this is a great problem to have, but I had prospects that needed to meet with me yesterday, so that day off never happened.
That's right. Well, that's a day, full day on. That's a lot of energy required for that.
You're damn right. It's like dealing with the in-laws. You know how much freaking energy it takes to deal with the in-laws?
Twice as much as dealing with a prospective client.
You're
That's
damn
for sure.
right.
If not 3 times.
You're going back to the damn grocery store to pick up the what are we missing today? The stuff for the dentures.
This time it was the bread. That was mine the last time. Got there, had just everything that they'd wanted from the grocery store, and
where's the bread, Tom?
Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah.
Just kill me up. You know what? Before anything could be said, the keys are in my hand, and I was out the door back at the grocery
and sometimes
store.
it's a good excuse to get therapy and leave the house one more
It's
time.
a great
Tom,
excuse. That cashier said to me, "Boy, you must not live very far away." I
Some
said,
peace and quiet. Thank
You are
God.
my excuse, Miss Cashier. Was my answer.
So you got to pick up the Metamucil. You got to get that Denta Grip stuff. You know, that stuff they put in with the dentures.
I remembered all of it.
Yeah.
But the loaf of bread is what the catch-up was.
You can always pinch that loaf, Tom.
Well, I'm leaving that one alone.
Probably should.
On the next topic here, speaking of looking good and well-rested.
And pinching loaves?
That's right. I got a story for you about looking good and security, believe it or not.
Tom, were you wearing that leisure suit last night at the club?
That's the story of my life.
Yeah.
Leisure Suit Larry is my middle name.
I like it. It was a fun game,
That's a
too,
big
back in
middle
the day, sir.
That's right. But, friend of mine, we'll call her Millie.
Millie.
Went out to lunch with some friends, and she was with her friend Sarah. And Millie said to Sarah, she was sitting there for a little while thinking, Sarah's normally very well dressed and always looks good, but there's something different about Sarah today.
What's missing?
I can't put my finger on it. And Millie said, she finally just had to say, "Look, Sarah, I've got to ask. I know you were just on vacation, but you look great. You know what's going on?" And Sarah said, "Oh, nothing. And she said, No. There's something different about your face that's just glowing." And Sarah said, "Oh, I just recently had Botox."
Uh-huh.
And Millie thought, "Oh, well, that's interesting." And Sarah went on to explain the Botox procedure and when she had it done and all the details around it. So Millie, with no interest in Botox whatsoever, has never looked it up, never will look it up, won't travel down that path. The next day, she logs onto her computer. Not only is
She's
Google,
on a PC, right, Tom? That's an important part of the story.
Actually,
Oh,
no,
shoot.
she's on an Apple device, which is just fantastic.
It's a great product.
Yep. But on the web browser and within Facebook, she starts getting ads left and right for Botox,
Suspicious, Tom.
which she's never had before. Now, I know that you and I have talked about this before, that the phones are listening. And, it's I think this one really hit close to home for me because I've never known of such a blatant sign of intrusion into a conversation that they assumed was private.
That's a lot of penetration, Tom.
It is. Well, needles like that with Botox, they're going to penetrate.
You're getting penetrated.
You better believe it, one way or the other.
Many places, Tom.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. So anyway, I thought you'd find that interesting. I certainly did.
Well, Tom, I've got a very similar troubling story myself.
Yeah?
So my good friend and team member, Rick, here at On Target, got a new car this week.
Okay.
So Monday, I'm in there in his office, and we're talking about it, and I'm like, "Hey, what'd you get, man?" And, I was excited. I love cars, Tom. I have a bit of a car fetish and addiction. And he got a Jeep Renegade.
Okay.
Okay? I didn't really even know what a Jeep Renegade is. It's a Jeep and it's a Renegade.
Yeah.
You put those two together, you got a Jeep Renegade. So he's telling me about the car. No exaggeration. 20 minutes later, I'm on Facebook on my phone. I kid you not, my friend, there is an ad for a Jeep Renegade. I don't like Jeeps. My wife has one, but
Yep.
I don't go. I would never. I have not searched for
Yep.
a Jeep.
Same thing.
Exact
Isn't that
same
something?
thing.
Isn't that something?
And Facebook will be the first to tell you.
Listen, we're not listening to you. It's not. That's not.
I think I call BS.
I think I'm going to have to say 100. I don't know who's listening, but someone darn
Do
sure
you think
is.
the in-laws are listening? Do you think maybe they just follow you around, or maybe they've got you bugged?
Tom, that's the beauty of it. They can't listen.
Oh, they can't. Oh, they
No.
turn that hearing aid
I don't
down.
know if it's can't, won't, or don't.
Yeah.
But one of those is for sure.
Sometimes it's suspicious, right?
Because it
Like,
doesn't matter what I say. The next time I come around, did you do that thing I asked?
Well, you never mentioned that.
No, you
Tom.
never meant.
Yeah.
But turn on Matlock in the room like 3 doors down,
Yeah,
and they're there
yeah.
like Johnny on the spot. Am I
Or
right?
forget the bread and see how quickly
Oh,
they
yeah.
remember that.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
They did not hear bread coming in there.
Yeah, it came back to haunt me.
They pinch a loaf.
I've got
Yeah,
nothing.
Metamucil. Anyway, so wow. What's your take on this, man? Like, what do you do? Our privacy today, whether you're on Facebook, anytime you're on these goofy devices, and I'm picking up my amazing Apple product and caressing it gently and showering it with love, but it is listening, right?
Yeah.
And these, companies that are doing remarketing, which, listen, I'm a marketer. I think it's amazing and it works.
Understood.
But if you think for a minute that they're not paying attention to every word you say and doing something with that data, you got another thing coming.
So
Damn it.
I have worked as hard as I possibly can to keep all apps off my device. I only use what came with the phone, and I've deleted many of those apps that were on it. But yet, I'm certain that my device is sending out data when it shouldn't be. There's no doubt in my mind, and we won't get into the specifics of how I know. But that's troublesome to me, so much so that when we have private conversations in our house that involve strategies for the business, legal strategies or business strategies that I consider very confidential, my wife thinks I'm a little goofy, but I'll take the phone and put it in the next room. We don't have any more listening devices in our house. There's no microphones hooked up to any of our computers. Laptops are always in the
What'd
bags.
you do with your Alexa?
Alexa bit the dust.
May she rest in peace.
That's right. Yep. After a political conversation, had Alexa sending out data without notifying us or any response from her at all. Again, it was the sign to me that I've had enough. Now, I know that the FBI and the CIA and local law enforcement aren't listening in. I know this is all done for marketing and making more money, and that's great.
And for Russia.
Yep. Well, that's a whole different joke for a whole different podcast. I don't want to lose any listeners here, Tom. But no, really, no matter how much effort you take to protect yourself, these devices have microphones on them, and that's part of the agreement that you go under, that you take on when you click yes when you first turn on that phone, that you're going to be sharing that data.
So have you ever downloaded something so goofy and simple as like I did a piece on Fox about a flashlight. So there was this downloadable flashlight app. You download it, and the first question out of it, it's asking you to agree to is,
Oh, hey, by the way, Chief, before you use this, can I have access to your microphone and to your camera and to your location?
I'm like, you're a freaking flashlight. What the hell do you need all that
Yeah,
for?
amen. Yep. Yeah, I'm right there with you. It's I don't understand it. And now here's the extension to that. I'm the guy who copies all that,
Yeah.
puts it into an email and sends it to myself so I can review it.
Right.
Yeah, and as I review these things, that's why I don't have any of them on my phone whatsoever.
Man, Tom is like super stealth mode.
I am, and it's, again, I admit I'm paranoid, but I just don't like the fact of not knowing where my conversations are going.
You know what? I don't think in this case it is paranoia. I think it is reality, and I think you know too much. You know what I'm saying? Like you know too much. And oh my goodness, a fresh cup
I was
of
going to say,
coffee.
come on in, Monique.
Coming
This
into
is,
the
I mean,
podcast studio. Monique is here.
Do you see the wings and the halo? That glow.
All the way from Texas to bring me a cup of coffee today.
That glow is just, you can't match that. That's beautiful. No, I've got the Mountain Dew here, but thank you for the offer.
Mountain Dew's not that great, Tom.
Oh, A little
Thank
Mountain
you.
Dew in the coffee will go a
this
long
coffee
way.
smells delish.
Yeah,
You know what? I would not make this for the in-laws, though. No offense.
So, but no, maybe I do know too much. I'm not quite sure, but the fact is they are sending that data.
They
So,
certainly are, and I think so. Here's the other troubling component to this. These devices, in particular, this beautiful iPhone that's in my hands. This damn thing's like $1,100.
breaks my heart.
Well, you get what you pay for, Tom. I mean, like yours are disposable, but this particular
Yeah,
phone,
$900 disposable.
yeah, it is really potato. It's the operating system it runs on is garbage. So, but this particular phone, when you as a consumer invest this kind of money in a device like this, that can literally launch the space shuttle,
Yeah.
especially the Apple one. I would think that there's an implied like, oh my gosh, they're looking out for my privacy and protection. And Apple genuinely is, because I believe in Apple's dedication to its customers. But it's the downloadable apps. It's all of these other crazy things you can put on these phones that's really activating that microphone and activating. I mean, it's a crazy world, and we're not trying to flip or scare people out.
Nope.
Maybe the in-laws. Wouldn't that be nice?
Doesn't work.
It doesn't work, does
Afraid
it?
of nothing.
No, and they can't hear you.
No.
No, I turned the damn hearing aid
They're
on.
the first ones down that dark hallway when there's a thump at the end going to find out who's doing what.
And hopefully there's some NyQuil at the end of that tunnel,
yeah.
Tom.
Well,
It's a little time for nappy time for Grandma.
don't think I forgot that at Publix. So,
I buy that at Costco now.
yeah. Well, I agree. I should go to Sam's or something and
Yeah,
get
you
the
got to
much
bulk.
larger
Go in
bottle.
bulk, man.
Absolutely.
It's better for the economy. It's
Thanks
better.
for the idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they love it too. They get excited and they see you mix it in with the fiber stuff.
Yeah,
Tom.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
delicious. They love it.
Yeah, well, news well taken.
Yeah.
And speaking of in the news,
Yeah,
Now, we're gonna glaze-
dedicated to bringing you late breaking news here at the T Squared Tech Talk podcast.
and we're not even going to go into the whole Apple violating their own terms of use policy by not
pish-posh.
offering opt-outs on their
I don't think
updates.
anyone heard about that story
So
whatsoever.
we're going to
Tom.
glaze right over that one, and we're going to go to one of those big chain stores in the news this last week.
What's that? Is it Office?
Lipo or Meepo
Is it
Creepo or
Is it
something.
Creepo? Office
I think
Creepo?
so. Office Creepo seems to be the good
Yeah,
one.
we'll go with
that. So, which is different from the Week Squad, which is another box chain.
Oh, the
So,
Week Squad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You talk about weak.
I know who those guys are.
Yeah. So anyway, no, this time it comes to us from Office Creepo, and here's what happened with those guys. So they put out a well, first off, they were hit with a $25 million fine from the FTC for putting out software that would scan your computer, your device, and let you know that whether or not you were infected by malware or viruses.
Well, that seems innocent enough, Tom.
Yeah, there's a lot of great solutions out there for this, and if they want to jump on the bandwagon, well, more power to them.
Sure.
But unfortunately, the creepo aspect crept up into it, and here's what happened. You would get a notification that you were infected, and you should make your way down to the store, and they'll go ahead and take care of it for you.
So you got to take that crappy PC apart, bring it down to Office Creepo, right? Put it on one of those
Or Apple
carts.
device.
No, I doubt that. So you put it on one of those carts, and you push the damn
with
thing
the little
in.
wobbly wheel.
Yeah,
that's
you always get the
squeaking.
wobbling wheel.
Story of my
Yeah,
lifetime.
it's like the in-laws, the damn wobbling wheel.
And squeaking.
Yeah, they blew out one of those the wheels on the cart. You know what I'm saying?
I do on the hover round.
Yeah, the hover. It's
So-
got the little horn on it. Why do they have horns?
I don't know because they don't use them. That's
No,
for
I'm
sure.
sure.
Neck,
Sure.
ankles, just run them right over.
No turning signals.
Happens every time. But no, so you would get a notification your computer is infected. You make your way down there. They were nice enough to clean it up for you and
was
give
nice.
you for the low price of roughly $300.
That sounds like entrapment, Tom.
Well, and unfortunately, here's the problem. I've seen this way too many times where there's consumers out there who don't know about local computer companies that are reputable that can help them out.
Like Advanced System Solutions, Tom.
That's right. But
She sounded like Bob Barker just then.
I was working on that.
Yeah.
I was ready for that call.
Tell us about these fabulous prizes.
That's right. But no, and so they trust the larger stores because one would think, how could they have gotten to where they are today if they're not a reputable, trustworthy company?
Right.
But somehow the Weak Squad has made their way in there, and Office Fleet Creepo decided that they want to start doing this as well. So it's just really, it's disheartening to me because, this is what we do. And we really enjoy helping people.
Not
And
screwing
these
them
are-
over, Tom?
That's right. And these are people who are at their most vulnerable.
Oh, of course.
I mean, they've got the grandkids' wedding photos on the computer and all kinds of stuff.
You got,
and
you got,
they
you
take
got
it down
Nana's
there.
prescriptions in
That's
there.
right. And small business owners, they've got their important data on there. Their QuickBooks data. They've
Yeah.
got financial information, and they're being told that they're compromised. So they're freaking out. They get them all worked up. They make their way down there, and they say, okay, well, we got you straightened out now, and here's your bill. And it might be a little questionable, but they're just happy to hear they're in a better place. So what really bothers me most about this is that the government gets to walk away with that $25 million.
Oh, sure.
But
Just
meanwhile,
a little fine.
the business owners and the nanas of the world who all made their way down to those creepos all got taken. And I'm sure that there will be some sort of class action lawsuit that would go on against them. At least one would hope so. So if there's any of our attorney friends out there listening, you might want to gear up for this one.
Yeah, you can sniff this one out a mile away.
Right? So that was that's really disheartening. So I thought today we could talk about some of the tools that I recommend that people use if they're going to want to scan their computer and find out if they've got any issues going
Well,
on.
Tom, this pisses me off. I'm not going
Yeah?
to lie.
Yeah?
I think that these people in Kurzblakistan could be in cahoots with these creepos.
I tell you, who do you trust? It comes down to that. If you can't trust the nationwide chain that's got commercials all through the day, it's mind-boggling.
It is mind-boggling, and it just pisses me off.
That's
Tom.
right, and likewise. So here's a couple of my trade secrets, if you will.
Ooh, there's secrets.
That's right. So there's
That's right.
that's right. There's two primary tools that I like to use if I'm going to go into a situation where I've been told there's a potential compromise on a computer.
Right, on a PC.
That's on a
Right,
computer.
not times out of 10. Let's just call it what it is.
We won't go into the dictionary.
Mason,
the Webster.
Mason knows. Look, Mason's like, I know what he's talking about. He's like, it's all these damn PCs that Tom deals with.
Okay, breaking out the Merriam-Webster right here, flipping over to computer. Oh, look. Microsoft or Apple device used for getting work done around the office. That's the official definition there in Merriam-Webster. And
Of what, Tom?
Of a computer. So there we are.
Okay.
So
you're here
you've
with all
got-
these PCs.
you've got a possible infection. So here's what you do. You want to look towards Malwarebytes first. Malwarebytes is a free tool. Of course, there's paid versions if you want it to work real time. But if you're in a pinch, not the pinch of loaf.
We're not
pinch.
pinching loaves right yet.
Nope. A pinch of concern. What you can do is go down Google Malwarebytes, and it's all one word. Download that program. You'll see the free option there, and you're going to want to run that. If you get positive results, if it detects something, I suggest you quarantine it, delete those items, and then run a second scan with Malwarebytes, which is a full scan. And you want to check all those little boxes for checking for rootkits.
Ooh,
So-
rootkits, Tom.
That's right. You want to look for everything.
Yeah, you want to probe and dig deep in there and get maximum penetration into your rootkit.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. And the only difference between the paid version of Malwarebytes and the free version is if you find yourself with, I'm trying to be politically
You're
correct
thinking about
here.
pinching loaves again, Tom.
I'm thinking about pinching something. Well, but
Whoa.
all right.
This isn't that kind of
podcast.
program, Tom.
Different podcast, Tom. So no, if you get positive results, if you run Malwarebytes every couple weeks and you every time are showing signs of positive results, then you ought to think about getting the paid version to keep you protected as you cruise down the web. So here's some of the people who I've had to do that for. Some of the more wild people who are doing research on the internet who jump from site to site to site.
Sure.
They really increase their vulnerability. Grandparents as well. Grandparents,
No.
I know, they don't quite get what you should click on and not.
Tom, what are all these pop-ups all over for?
Those are the exact people that I have purchased Malwarebytes for. And let me tell you, it works wonderfully for them.
They got to stop looking at those at those
Don't
interesting
want to know
websites.
what they're looking at.
No,
Tom.
we don't, Tom. No,
And that is one group of people whose history we never want to research.
we do not.
No. So Malwarebytes is a great tool. Another one though that I always say you like to pair these up, and I know that you have a hard time with the other one, which is the Microsoft Defender solution for antivirus. So you know what?
It's got to defend itself from itself.
We're just going to cruise right over that one, and we're going to go into Bitdefender, which is my next.
I've heard of Bitdefender.
Yep, Bitdefender is my next tool in the bag there.
Tool in the sack, Tom.
Oh, that's right. So I'm going to use the heck out of that one today.
I love it.
So you want to use Bitdefender, and if you're a business and you want to keep track of things on a monthly basis, let me tell you, Bitdefender has a great option. It's under $2 per seat per month, and you get a dashboard.
Like what
there.
size seat, Tom? Are we talking like the
Doesn't
in-law
matter the
seat?
size of the seat. It can be as big as it wants on
So
a
we're talking
server.
girth here, Tom,
Massive.
right?
We're talking terabytes.
Okay, that's a big
Yep,
seat.
That's a big seat.
Yeah.
So this will give you a dashboard letting you know that all the devices within your organization are all being kept up to date. If there's anything that shows up as a positive result, you're going to see that in your dashboard. You'll get alerts for it right away. Now, again, that costs a couple dollars per month per computer. But if you're an organization who needs to keep track and don't have the time to go from computer to computer, definitely a great tool for you. But Bitdefender does have a free scan.
And that's a big butt, Tom.
That's a big but. That's why, we're named who we are, Advanced System Solutions.
I can really get behind that name, Tom.
Well, that's right.
I love
You know what? I got to erase this from my mind now.
That's right.
But no. So Bitdefender, a great tool. Again, go download that, run a scan. If you're seeing positive results, you want to quarantine those and delete those. Now, here's the last.
Can you quarantine the in-laws, Tom?
Again, impossible, Tom. Doesn't matter what kind of partition. Doesn't even matter if you move into a duplex. That wall, tear this wall down.
Paper thin.
Yep. That's pretty much
Tom?
it. So, yeah.
I lost the remote again.
Can hear it through the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter how thick the wall.
Can you refill my NyQuil?
Yeah.
You bet.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
be right there with
exactly it.
bells
Yep,
on.
Yep. That's what I hear too when they say, "Can you refill my coffee?" That's what I hear. is
NyQuil. Yeah.
Yep,
You
yep.
just find and replace right there, Tom.
That's right.
Listen, can I interject one?
Please.
One important safety tip here. As you are searching for these two particular antivirus products, which were once again, Tom,
Bitdefender and Malwarebytes.
not the Microsoft kind, because God forbid you start searching for Microsoft stuff. So here's one important security tidbit. Make certain that when you download this product, you are downloading the right product. There are a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing out there, Tom, on the old WWW, on the Wild Wild West.
That's right.
And you could actually download what looks like a virus scanner, and it is, guess what? A virus.
As proven by Office Creepo.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
Yeah.
our point.
Yeah.
Kids, we got to be careful online when you're mousing over those download links. My advice is go directly to whatever website it is. Don't get lost in all the Google results.
Yeah,
and the Googles.
watch for those ads at the top of the results there, and again, let's just spell it out. Malwarebytes.
Well done, sir.
All one word, and the other one is Bitdefender, Bitdefender. Look up those two. Google them, whatever search engine you're using, DuckDuckGo, whatever.
God forbid Bing.
I was going to steer clear of that as well. See,
You're a
I'm
smart
trying
man,
to be
Tom.
a nice guy here today,
There are two Microsoft pens on this here table still.
which is still not enough.
Oh, one in Mason's hand. He's caressing it longingly.
See, it's just a beautiful thing. It's ergonomically friendly and gets the job done, just like all Microsoft products. But I digress.
Let's not go there, Tom.
I
Did Microsoft 95 do that? How about Windows ME? How was that, Tom? Did that
Works
work?
wonderfully for me.
Did it work
You
for
know
everybody?
what? You know what? With all this talk from Microsoft and Mountain Dew, when is Pepsi going to pony up, or Microsoft going to lay the money down to start supporting the T Squared Tech Talk podcast?
They should. They get
should
enough
be sponsoring
airtime.
us. That's what I'm saying.
We're always talking about Microsoft.
Kills me.
Kills me too.
Yeah. It's a different way, though.
Yeah,
But,
I die a bit inside every time you say it.
There you go. So you want to make sure that you're looking for links that go directly to that, not a link that takes you to, johnscomputers.com.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
Mason's Masonware.
Or Dolly Parton-ish I don't even know what the
Double
group is.
Ds.
That's what it is. The Dolly Double Ds. Is that what they call
Oh,
themselves now?
.net. Yeah.
Yeah, the Dollyettes.
It's put together by those fine folks in Kurzblakistan, Tom.
There you go. Yep. So you want to steer clear of those.
Or you can
sites.
clear steer it.
Or clear steer them. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's late on Friday.
Potato, Tom.
What's in this Mountain Dew anyway?
Oh my goodness.
So no, that's my insight on what you should be doing. And then if you do have infections, if they are cleaned out, I hate to say this, but the best way to really ensure that your computer has been cleared of infection
is throw that PC in the trash can.
Close, Tom. Close. You're going to want to restore to a point.
Mac.
Yeah. If you want to take out a home loan, if you want to go ahead and sell the car, get rid of the kids' college education, absolutely. Go out there and spend your money away on Apple products. That's fantastic.
The kids are expensive anyway, Tom.
Wouldn't know. Can't imagine.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it.
But no, that's not the best. That's not the best case.
No. So you'll want to roll back to a point in time, or you may want to restore your computer to factory settings. Again, if this is an infection that's deep rooted, I don't care what the scanner is out there. If it affects system files, that system is never going to operate the
toast,
same again.
Tom.
Yep.
It's torched.
Absolutely. So be careful out there. Travel safely. Remember our rules of internet browsing, and we're going to stay safe.
What are our rules, Tom?
Well, that has to be gotten to via our question today.
All right, we're digging into the sack, ladies and germs. I'm pretty excited. The sack, it's getting hotter here, in Florida, Tom. So that sack is getting a little moist in there.
I know. Well, if you're sending chocolate products, now's the time to stop for the year and resume that in November.
Yeah, because it's getting swampy here again.
Yep. Moist is the good word. But no, we're hearing from Michael today in Michigan.
Mike from Michigan.
That's right. Mike from Michigan.
There it is again. That's right.
Yeah, okay. I see. I've been working on the radio in the mornings, and I got this show going. And
let's drill this down even. Mike is from Muskegon, Michigan.
Yeah. See, There we go. Triple M.
Yeah.
The triple threat.
Yeah, from Michigan.
Yep. So, but Mike's question was, when he's browsing the internet, if he doesn't have an active tool to scan those sites, because a lot of people don't like to do that. I'm included. I don't want.
It slows you down.
It slows it down big time. Yeah, and if you're trying to get things done, it can be very frustrating.
Or push the in-laws out the door.
That's a whole nother podcast. But no, Mike, here's what you'll want to do if you don't have an active tool such as Malwarebytes scanning websites as you go from site to site. My rule of thumb is, if you do a search for a site, let's say I'm looking for paint, and I look up blue paint.
Like Microsoft Paint, Tom?
Paint 3D would be what that is.
Oh,
Tom.
I forgot. They got fancy.
Yeah, that's right. Windows 10 brought out Paint 3D.
Windows 10.
Yeah.
Most unique name for an operating system they could think of.
Well, it's better than Mojave. What the heck?
Mojave.
That's
a wonderful experience, Tom.
Yeah.
It's warm. It's chilly at night. It's
a little bit moist, Tom.
It can be a little moist. It can be a little moist.
So if you're not running one of these tools, what you'll want to do is, whatever your search engine is, let's say I'm looking for paint and I see Eastwood Paints. And so I click on the Eastwood Paint link from my search engine, and at the bottom I see some other pretty metallic paints, just really beautiful, shiny colors, and I want to go click on those. I see one, let's just say it's a candy apple red, and I say, wow, that's something I really want, and I don't go click on that. I go back to my search engine. I type in candy apple red and whatever else the company name was there at the bottom of that site.
Acme Company.
Yep. And I do my search from there. That way, because what happens is when your search engine provides these results to you, they're making sure that these sites are clean. If you're going from site to site to site, going down further and further, the more steps you take away from your initial search, the greater the possibility of you getting to a website that's infected is. So, Mike, that's my tip to you is if you're not using a tool to actively scan websites, remember the Google two-step is what I call it. Always stay within one step of Google. Don't go 2 steps away.
You never want to go 2 steps away, Tom.
No, never, especially from Microsoft products. Don't ever stray too far.
Or don't ever even get one.
Well,
Problem solved, Tom.
You know, that's what I hadn't thought about that. That is a great way to keep yourself safe.
Right. Don't
Just don't
buy
get a
Microsoft
computer at all.
or a Microsoft
You know, just go out to a mountain, live on the side, live off the land, off the grid, if you will.
with your Mac. So imagine this: you're on your Mac in the Mojave Desert, running the Mojave operating system.
Now that would be
Mind
awesome
blown.
because there would be no power, and the Mac would certainly run out of power. So that's just
The Mac is power, Tom. It is complete power. So, Mike from Muskegon, thanks so much for letting us talk to you about our tool.
that's right. Well, so with that,
And you also said tip, Tom. You offered
Tom's
Mike some
tips.
tips about his tools.
Tom's tips,
And
Tom's
tools.
full-time tips.
And there's a lot of tools.
Yeah, a lot of T's in there.
A lot of penetration today, Tom.
There we go. Well, as long as we're penetrating the right thing and not being penetrated by Office Creepo,
And Plakistan.
yeah,
Am I right?
and then we're doing okay.
Yeah.
You know, so that's my 2 cents for the penny that they're worth on the tools that you should be using to scan that won't give you false positives.
You don't want false positive, Tom.
No, not in all types of scans, especially medical.
Yeah, absolutely. So, listen, if you do have a freak out moment about a virus or your computer screaming at you, or maybe you're afraid it's going to spread through your office network, I want to tell you guys, and this is a plug for ASSI, these guys, Tom's company knows what he's doing, knows how to help get these things quarantined. Hell, he quarantines his in-laws every damn day.
That's
so
right.
he's got the experience you need to help take care of these ugly nastiness things. You don't want them
thanks.
spreading, man.
Thanks for that, Tom. And you're absolutely right. If it's not us that you call somebody.
Not Ghostbusters, Tom.
No, not Office Creepo, not
Nope.
the Weak Squad.
Nope.
You want to call a reputable organization. If you're not familiar with one, now is a time to start looking, not when you're in panic mode.
Right.
Find a computer consulting company that's near you, that is reputable, that has some good references that for some people who can say that that can attest to the value that they bring to you.
I like your advice, and we're not here to pick on big box stores, but I will tell you, like, I've
am.
never heard of anybody with a good experience at any of these with their computer, because they got to print money, man.
Yeah.
One way or the other, they got to sell you a ratty ass PC with a ratty ass operating system like Microsoft. So they're if they're not selling those, they got to sell something else, which is this, in this case, this crappy antivirus nonsense.
Right. And I won't go down too long into this story, but the same thing on a big box store. Somebody took in a computer that was a year old. The hard drive had died, and the weak squad told them, well, they don't make this hard drive anymore, so you should probably look at a new computer. Well, yes, that's true. They probably don't make that exact hard drive anymore, but guess what? There are hundreds of hard drives under $100 that could go into that.
Yeah, I was going to say
computer.
$80, man. You pull on 2 terabytes, plug that
But
sucker
again,
in.
somebody who doesn't know says,
Yeah.
"Oh, really? Oh man!" So they said, "Yeah, you're gonna have to go buy another computer. We'll tell you what. We'll give you a $200 credit for this laptop here," which, by the way, still had the plastic on it
Yep.
from when it was purchased because
Yep.
they were keeping it so
They're
nice.
going to make that PC someone else's nightmare,
And
Tom.
she thought for a moment, and she took it home and asked me, and she goes, "Is it true they don't make hard drives for this anymore?" No. They twist, as my mother would say, "Don't twist your words.
Don't twist them.
You know what I
Tom,
meant."
you know better.
Yep, exactly. So find yourself a reputable computer organization now before you're in panic mode. So if something should happen, you've got that trusted source to call and lend a bit of advice.
I love it, Tom.
As do I.
You were a giver.
It's what it's all about, Tom. You know where I learned that from?
Where?
On Target Digital
Aw,
Marketing.
thanks, man.
Yep.
And listen, another plug for Advanced System Solutions. If you do run into any challenges and issues with your network, with your antivirus software, Tom will steer you down the right path, man. So they can find you at,
AdvancedSystemsSolutions.com.
and you can find me at OnTargetDigitalMarketing.com. You can always go to the T2TechTalkPodcast.com website that was proudly made by an Apple product. And
And it looks great. I'll give you credit.
And thank you. And we'd love to
Absolutely,
hear from you. You can actually fill out the mail sack form right there, and we'll dig into our sack next week and answer your questions. So, Tom, we covered a lot of ground today. We talked about stalking phones that are listening in on us.
Creepy.
You're very creepy. We talked about NyQuil and dosing, proper dosing methods.
Office Creepo to continue the creepy subject line here of today's podcast.
Absolutely. Learned a lot of great tips about antivirus software.
Right. Yeah. So hopefully this helped.
We hope so. And that's what we're all about here at the T-Squared Tech Talk podcast, Tom.
100%.
So listen, folks, until next week, drink some Mountain Dew. And Mike, over there in Muskegon, you keep your ass warm up there.
Well, that's right.
That's right. Until next time, take care.
This podcast was recorded at the On Target Podcasting Studio.